episode is sponsored by Mitts of Virginia. In just a bit, we're going to have a video that explains what Mitts is and does. We'd like to take a moment to thank Mitts and its wonderful staff for all the help in sponsoring Cooking with Carter Season 4. Hello and welcome to this episode of Cooking with Carter. I'm your host, DJ. We usually have Emily with us. She's actually away for the weekend. So my best friend is actually going to fill in. He's from Camp Easter, so I've known him for many, many years. This is Ethan.
Hello.
And he's going to be helping me out today. We're gonna get him through this. He's a little camera shy, but it's okay. It's all right. It doesn't bite. I promise. It's okay. All right. So what we're gonna do? We've got a steak and vegetable medley today. Now I've done several steak episodes before. I've done grilled. I've done baked. Done fried. But we're gonna do it a little bit different. We're actually gonna grill these in a skillet, and we're gonna make a vegetable medley with it. I want to go over my ingredients that I have first. We have seasoning salt, oregano, complete seasoning, onion powder, and garlic salt. We have a can of corn with no label. We have our 4 fresh cut ribeye steaks. We have our cutting board and our knife, of course. We have actually 4 tomatoes and 3 cucumbers. And then we have our finger peelers over here that we're going to use to peel everything and do some of the prep work. Now, one of the things I want to go over to do this, Ethan, if you'll help me slide that over. Yeah, this thing is heavy. It is very important. We're going to move Mr. Tomato over here. When I peel a cucumber, go ahead, Max. It's all right. Yeah, there we go. Had to get Ethan a cutting board there. Now, for one of the reasons that I do this, I cut off the ends. Okay, right there. And right there. Now, this for me is the easiest way to do it. I have a new cutter now with a sharpened blade. These are not supposed to get dull, but one of the things I want to talk about, when I use this peeler, I'm sliding it not on my ring finger. I'm actually going on my middle finger because my hand is 9.5 inches, and this is not. So it
by
devours.
Hand, he means ham hock?
Yeah, really. All right, so we're just going to go across. Yeah. Mom said this has never been used. And, yeah, sure. All right, so if left to right doesn't work.
There you go.
There you go. Yep.
It's always better to cut away from yourself anyway.
Yep, unless you want to lose it. Nice cut away there.
Oh. Transition. No.
I couldn't think of the word. And these things make wonders for CP because if I had to use a normal peeler, having to hold it and peel it,
That fresh cucumber smell.
I can actually do that, but being able to sit it down and roll it so that I can put pressure with my right hand and use my left and get the end. See, I've already cut off the end, so you get a nice smooth cut all the way down. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. What about the other end? Just turn it around, hold it on the smooth side with everything off. A little rotation. Okay, now you can also do this with the cucumber skin on. It is healthier. You can also make the cucumber skin into noodles, but that is for a later episode. We are not doing that here because I don't have 3.5 hours. Okay, so just like that is our. Now, if you get these little dark edges here, the little dark shavings, sorry, my voice cracked on camera, but still with it.
It's not the first time.
Won't be the last either. Couple things. So, this is pretty good to go. You don't have any, one little piece. Now, this dark green here, just shave it down until it's light. So, all right, so we basically have that. The finger peeler can go. Okay, I failed to mention I have a bowl here. If you guys don't know what a bowl is by now, read a book. But it's okay. I'm just going there. But basically, there's two ways you can do this. Okay, I'm gonna take my 9-inch blade. Okay, and I'm actually, for camera purposes, gonna turn it. This is more, for me, this is more difficult to do. I'm going to start on the edge and press. Okay, now you notice that this side is a little thicker than this side. That's okay. Turn it. Take it down and press. Okay, now take all three sides, hold them together. Okay, as your cubes get bigger, that's okay, because what you're trying to do is generally get them the same size. Okay, but you can come here
It kind of looks like you're cut into a banana.
almost. It has that consistency, and it's a little bit tougher. So
Couldn't tell by how
sharp
much like butter you're going through.
going through the knife there. All right, so that's basically what you want. So now I'm going to have Ethan actually cut the tomato for me. Now, do you do
this?
Yep. Do you want to? I can get a smaller knife if you want, or if that one's all right.
Whatever works.
Okay. Do you normally cut off your ends, or how do you?
Yeah, I mean, typically, is that what you want to do?
Now, see, he doesn't have to press down much at all, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut off both ends and then just cube it. Okay. And that gives you.
Cube it?
You're going to make it into small cubes, small.
So
bite.
you want me to do like one through here and then?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know what make me cringe more. Are you watching Ethan cut through this or watching DJ cut through stuff? I still say DJ.
Now notice he's using his fingers just to hold them together, but as he pushes through that knife, he slides that finger back. He doesn't, we're going to have finger food in our tomato and cucumber medley.
Yeah.
Brings a whole new
Now you can actually
sign up for that.
use any kind of medley you want. We've also got the corn. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, this corn has been drained. Okay, and now here, say you didn't have a fork, okay, and you want to get this open, and I'm going to do this on camera. This is very dangerous. When you're opening a can, go with your nail. Don't touch the side. Press back with your nail.
It's also if we have nails.
Okay? If
should
you
do it.
don't, you need to get a knife to open that. These will cut
fork
you
or
to pieces.
spoon.
I have 2 cans of corn. I'm going to add this one. Okay, on camera. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to throw that in the trash back there. Thank you, bud. Okay. We're going to dice the rest of the tomatoes and cucumbers up, get them added into the bowl, preheat your skillet to 350, and then we'll season everything. Once we get it in the bowl, I'll come back when I'm doing that, getting ready to add it into the skillet. So it'll take about 5 or 6 minutes to preheat. We'll be back in just a little bit with Ethan and myself on Cooking with Carter. Be right back. Hello and welcome back to Cooking with Carter. We've got all the cucumber, tomato, and corn diced up and added into. We had to get a much bigger bowl than what I originally had. I did want to mention that Max is with us as well. He's working the camera today.
No, I'm just an invisible ghost. There's no one.
Before we went to break, I'm like, Ethan and myself will be right back. Cameron's like, oh, I guess I'm not here. So he's not here where you can see him, but we can see him and we know he's here. So Ethan, if you would go ahead and add that in the skillet for me. Straight on down. Beautiful. Nice skillet size full vegetable medley. All right, now there's not really an order of how we want to do this. I'm just gonna. I hate this seasoned salt because the holes are too big. but we're just gonna sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. We'll put those over there.
I almost made outtakes again.
And we're going to sprinkle some oregano. Okay. Alright. And Ethan, if you'll loosen those back up, I'm going to stir and season again.
Oh wait, I'm a ghost. I'm not here.
Yeah, it really is. And this is about 2.5 tablespoons of each seasoning. You have to be careful with the onion powder because it does come out kind of fast. Just control that hand speed. Okay. Garlic salt. About 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of each. Now, on the salt, because I've already used 4 seasoning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I can count. 4.
School was a long time for you. We
Yes,
understand.
I know. 5 seasonings that contain salt in them. I'm going to use regular salt, but I'm going to do very, very little to bring all of the flavor together. Nice, freshly ground black pepper. Okay. All right. Quick little flip. Quick little flip. Now you want to leave this in long enough for the cucumber to get just a little bit soft.
Is there any visual indication of that?
I mean, you can honestly do like a kind of fork tender kind of thing. If you just take your spatula, pull a piece of cucumber off, I really have to press on that so it's not ready. So 8 to 10 minutes. Now, once you get this stirred around, just like that. Now again, I'm using a metal spatula on this skillet. They advise against that, but when you do it, don't press hard. Just lightly stir. Okay. So we're going to let this cook up for about another 8 minutes, but I'm not going to bore you for 8 minutes by being on camera all by myself. No, wait! It's not all by myself. It's with Ethan and Max, who's actually working the camera. Alright, so he's like, yeah, that's great. Alright, so we're going to season again. Now this time when I season, I'm going to do it in reverse order.
So,
Salt.
Is there a reason for that?
I honestly think that when we do it in reverse order, I've noticed that with a lot of the dishes, it blends it together well.
And I guess it makes sense that if you do it in reverse order, you're giving all of the seasonings the same amount of time to be in, you know.
Incorporated into the food.
Right.
Yeah, that's, this guy's the chef. I'm just, that's
you're
awesome.
just the puppet. He's the master.
I'm being controlled by strings.
Well, yeah.
Stop it!
Well, if we're going true reverse order, you would have started with pepper instead of salt. But okay.
Now we're just doing it all.
Oh man!
Now we
There's
just
no
messed it
rhyme or
all up.
reason
There's
to
not.
anything.
It's just.
Screw it! We don't care. It's seasoning.
Just open all 4 of them and just pour them in now. That's.
All right. If you want to do the seasoning salt there, Ethan. Sure. That's my voice crack yet again. Now that
Don't want to do that.
Sorry, we didn't get to see that. He just tried to
Super
take the
fast.
top off. Yeah, and just pour it in there.
All right, we just tell me when to stop.
Just right on in. Perfect.
Does that mean stop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So all right.
You have to be explicit with me, like stop.
Yeah, there's a reason why the cameraman doesn't do it anymore. I've messed up too many times. I'm not allowed.
Yeah, he's. I can do the seasoning salt. Plunk, all of it goes in.
Yeah, it was like you just do a little bit of power and he goes, I was like, I'm never touching that anymore. I just eat the food and film it and do cues and not hear. It smell good, that's for sure.
Complete seasoning there. All right, Ethan, why don't you try again? Just sprinkle it on there.
Okay.
All the way through.
Add more pressure to the
Kinda go
man.
on the top there. And that'll be it. Stop right there. So, we included the word stop this time.
Yeah, I wish you would have done that with me. You're just like, yeah, sure, that's
Well, I
fine.
couldn't because by the time you turned it over, it was all in there, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, now the onion powder comes out super fast.
I'm not the expert, but I mean, every time I use onion powder, it just seems like I have to use a lot for it to make a difference.
Okay, that's a great point. Now that depends on the type and the concentration level of your onion powder, because onion powder is concentrated onion. You can do the same thing with minced onions. Just gonna stir this one more time. Man, that does smell phenomenal. But as far as the concentration of the onion level, meaning, and I find that types of onion powder make a big difference too. With the type that I use, which is a brand name, but I don't have to use a whole lot, because if you do, it'll overpower the entire dish. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just keep stirring this. And I know I said I wasn't gonna be on camera for 8 minutes, but you know what? This looks
We're just all about breaking hopes and dreams on this show.
I know. Oh boy, our sponsors are gonna leave us right now. Actually, we do want to remind everybody that this episode of Cooking with Carter is sponsored by Mitts of Virginia. We want to thank Mitts for everything they've done. Also, Brian Gonzalez and the Gonzalez Knife Company, which the knife is in production right now. The blade is finished, and we're getting ready to have that done here in the next couple of weeks, so you'll be able to see that on Cooking with Carter. So, all right, so now if we take a look and watch this, see it's actually going through, and it's still going to have just a little bit of crunch. Ethan, if you want to just slide back there to the silverware drawer right by the microwave
Show
and grab
again for the nice people on the camera. What you did.
And get what?
a spoon right by the microwave. Yep,
Like big spoon, little spoon.
little spoon. All right. So. Try that. A little bit of cucumber there. So let's stay on the.
Running away from you.
It's hot. Be careful. Yep.
Need a little more mineral-y flavor.
Wow. That oregano,
Like
surprisingly,
on my food.
over the top. It's not, and it brings out kind of a woodsy flavor to it. I can't really explain it. That's good, but it is warm. So when we come back, we're gonna grill the steaks, and that's pretty much simple. But I'm gonna season those. I do want to say one thing: when the steaks are done, make sure to let the steaks rest for about 6 minutes, because what that will do is it will bring the flavor back into the food before you cut it, and the moisture will still be there. If you cut it quick, all that moisture is going to run out and it'll dry out your steak. So we'll be back in just a minute with the whole crew, Max, myself, and Ethan on Cooking with Carter. Hello everybody and welcome back. As I said earlier, we're going to talk just a little bit about our sponsor for Season 4 for Cooking with Carter. I'm with Richard Baldwin of MITS of Virginia. Richard?
DJ, thank you. I am with MITS of Virginia, and we are proud to be a sponsor for this season's Cooking with Carter. MITS of Virginia has been in the mobility business for over 16 years now, and we've been supplying individuals with solutions to their mobility challenges, be it vans, home modifications, DME equipment, or just a listening ear if you have a question. Feel free to give us a call, 1-800-420-6470. You can see us on Facebook. We also are linked to the Cooking with Carter site and our website, www.mitsofva.com. DJ?
Well, I tell you what, he said it all. As you see the poster here, this gives you just a little bit about what MITS is and does. I know this man personally. He's a great friend and now a great sponsor and partner of Cooking with Carter. We are very thankful to Midts of Virginia and the staff at Midts of Virginia for all of their help. And as we say every time on Cooking with Carter, the meals we make are worth the wait. We'll see you next time. The whole family is back together again on Cooking with Carter. All right, so we've got the vegetable medley out of the skillet. We went ahead and give that a quick wash out. All right, we got our 1.5 inch cut ribeye steaks. Gonna season these. A little bit of pepper.
Can you move this out of the way?
No, wait. Okay. Tiny bit of salt. I'm only going to use 3 seasonings on this, maybe 4. Complete, and I'm going to season these heavy. So heavy it didn't look like it was coming out for a second. There we are. Sometimes,
Seasoning I know and love.
yeah, that makes your mouth go ha.
Exactly.
Alright. I wasn't sick there or anything, just want to let you know. Alright, so we'll
I mean,
close that down. Sir. I'm going to use, now this seasoning I will also season heavy because I want these,
which one is that?
this is garlic salt. I will season this heavy because I want the seasonings to go into the steak, okay? That's another reason I'm going to let them rest, okay? A lot of people say garlic is sensitive to their stomach. Not me. My mother, on the other hand, yeah, it can upset you if you're not used to it. Okay, there's the garlic salt there. And the last seasoning I'm going to use, actually I'm not going to use oregano on this one. It's onion powder. You know, I made sheet and use a little bit of oregano too. I know I said I wasn't, but
I told you you're going to use all of them.
no,
I predicted this before.
no. But the seasoned salt I'm not using, so I didn't use all of them. So then,
So, do you look these recipes up? Do you research them somewhere, or is this like your style?
honestly, I very seldom. I can use a recipe book. I very seldom will go through a recipe and follow it exactly because I want. You're exactly right. I want to make it my own style.
I'm not saying we never will, just for the moment.
Yeah,
it's all originals.
You know, I try to, because there are some recipes that you cannot deviate from. To, you know, baking and things like that, and even you know, crock pot cooking is another one. It all depends on really what you want to do, but to make it your own.
Sure.
All right, so we're going to slide the skillet back up. Now, when you enter these into the skillet, always enter them seasoned side down. All right, so quick tip. When we enter this, everybody asks me, how do you know the difference between medium rare and medium and well done and all that stuff? All right, so we'll
Where
set
do
them.
you go for these people?
I'm not really sure. Maybe Alcatraz. We'll figure it out.
What people say that?
What cartoons are you looking at before you come?
Sonic the Hedgehog. Anyway, so we're gonna put them seasoned side down, and these bad boys are thick.
I gotta cook fast. Oh.
Come on, CP. There we go. Alright, where'd the spatula go?
It ran away with the spoon.
Did it really? Hey, Diddle. No.
Fiddle. Kyle jumped over the moon. I got away with a fit 4 in there. They're kind of thick.
I don't know if we're gonna get this fourth one in here.
That's not bad. I might have to wait it to churn. Oh, I mean, that's one way.
Just slide it up to the wall.
Just push it all up against the wall.
Bear with me a second.
I wonder if that phrase came about from there actually being a bear with someone. Like, there's just a bear with me. Just hold on a minute.
All right. Now, how do you tell
What do you know?
when your steaks are medium rare? How do you tell when your steaks are well done? Honestly, for me, it's the amount of liquid that rises to the top, how frequently you flip them, and how fork tender they are. Okay? I like my steak on the rare side. You can get a meat thermometer and say, it's exactly rare by this point and by this temperature, but I don't do that. I just go for it, and you want, when you cut, for me, medium rare is a little bit more on the red side. Not to where there's liquid, but there's a nice red color in there, and medium is more on the pink side. So, I'm going to season these again on this side. Going to do about probably 8 to 12 minutes on each side at most. We're going to season these. We're going to get them done. We're going to take them out. When they're resting, I'm going to come back and talk to you and finish this up, and we're going to cut into some thick, juicy ribeye steak. I'm a hungry mother. How you doing? Everybody's good, and we'll see you in just a bit on Cooking with Carter. All right, we're back, and these are just about done. Now, I want to get Max, if he can, to zoom in on this second steak from my left. If you take a look at the top right here, you're going to notice that there's a little bit of liquid or juices that are rising to the top. These are when I know the steaks are just about done. Okay, so I'm going to have Ethan to flip these for me while I talk about this. Now, we brushed these with butter while I was off camera. I know I didn't say that, you know, the last time I was on camera or before we went to break. But honestly, that's your choice. A lot of times you can brush them with butter. You don't have to. I actually do two different things. I use regular butter, a whole stick, in the microwave for about a minute to a minute and a half to let it melt all the way. Okay, and then what we do is we use a butter substitute. Okay, that's not actual butter, but it says it is. Okay, and you're going to pour it on there, and it's going to caramelize on the top of the steak and give it almost like a sheen. It's going to look like it's shining. So these I'm going to let cook for about another 45 seconds to a minute, and we're going to take them off, and we will come back and cut into them. We're going to let them rest for about 6 minutes or so before we cut into them, so that we can get those juices flowing back into there. So we'll wait a minute or so, and we'll take these out. So what do you think so far? Pretty good? You ready to eat some steak?
Absolutely.
Vegetable medley?
Oh yeah, you bet. It's delicious. Smells amazing too.
Now, off camera, what was you had asked me a question.
I had asked you about, there were a couple times I had tried to cook steaks in a pan like this, and I'd noticed that accumulation of juices in the bottom of the pan, and I was just wondering if that was something. There was a couple times where I just drained that out, thinking back to like cooking a roast in the oven, where
Sure.
you don't want the juices collecting near the meat.
Okay.
So I was just wondering whether or not you drain them in a pan like
Well,
this.
you're kind of asking two different questions, because this is basically a broth. So when I take these steaks out, I would not drain it, because what I would do is I'd take a spoon and I'd take this. They call it pot liquor. They call it yum yums. All the goodness that the steak has cooked in, and I would rebase them. You can also use a flavor injector and inject it into the steak, and that's why one of the reasons you let it rest, because the juices are going to come back out. With a pot roast or anything like that, you don't want to drain it, because that you can drain it but add it back into there to reconstitute that moisture. If you take that liquid out of the pot roast and you don't keep it in liquid submerged, it's honestly going to dry out. All right, so let's go ahead and take these steaks out now. Max, you want to go ahead and unplug the skillet there if you don't mind. What we want to do, and Ethan, if you will, if you want to maybe just like grab a spoon, we can actually take some of this liquid and we can put the liquid back on the steaks.
That butter smell with the steaks just smells amazing.
Wait until you taste it. I mean, it just...
You're hyping these up a lot. It better be good.
And I'm going to tell you what, if they ain't, I'm walking out of here.
I'm the biggest critic for you.
Yeah, just go ahead and just get a little bit out on the spoon there. And just right over the steak. Yep, just like that. And you do that 2 or 3 times.
For each steak?
On each steak. Now, remember I said let this rest? I want you to watch what happens to this juice. Okay, that's good right there. On that one, go one more there. One more. Perfect, yep. Yep. Okay. Now you can still see that he's adding about 2 to 3 teaspoons, that's a tablespoon of juice per steak, okay? And you can add as much as you want. I personally like to have it just enough. So we're gonna let these rest and we'll come right back in, cut into them. I'm gonna actually get a plate set up so you guys can see what we're doing. We'll be right back in just a moment on Cooking with Carter. Stay tuned. All right, we're back. We went ahead and prepared the plates with the vegetable medley on the side and the steak here. I want to show something on camera now. Usually, when you cut a steak, when it's done properly, okay, we've let these rest for about 4 to 6 minutes, okay, and hopefully Max can get a good shot of this. Look at how much pressure I'm using just to cut this. Now if you look inside, I'm going to turn this around. Just on the end. Look at that pink. That right there is medium rare to what they call the high rare side. So I'm not going to taste first. I'm going to let Ethan and Max cut into their steaks before I touch mine.
Alright, well, thank you.
You want to do it?
It's delicious.
All right. All right. Max, have a cut.
You guys.
Now
won't
Max
let
is
me do
doing
this.
While the camera's in front of him.
In the most awkward of ways.
I tell you what, this is a talented cameraman. He can cut food with a tripod and a camera in front of him.
That really is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I'll be the judge of that. I'm probably your biggest critic, but it's always constructive criticism.
You know, I aim on this show to please and do the best I can.
That's pretty damn good.
Alright, so I've waited.
You've waited long enough.
Have another bite while you're
Yeah, go for it. No one's gonna fault you for that.
Oh my god. That butter and that garlic, man. Woo! What do you think of the vegetable medley there? Did you try that?
Actually, if you tried that, yeah.
You couldn't get it down before I get it?
Nope. trying to get a little bit of that juice that it was in distortion.
Harder to do with a fork. The juice is gonna run
Just kind of
through
dipping it in
Yeah,
there.
right. Well, as we say every time on Cooking with Carter, we appreciate you guys watching. We're over 6,000 views. We've hit 135 subscribers. Want to take a minute to thank everybody. Keep subscribing, keep watching, but most of all, remember, the meals we make are worth the wait. We'll see you next time on Cooking with Carter.